Hi, my name is Gina from Haunted Flower, and today I'm going to be reviewing cult classic Donnie Darko. I love this movie ever since the very first time I watched it. It is basically about a troubled teen who has an imaginary friend who is a bunny named Frank. There's just so much it's really hard to go into. Time travel, it's got some sci-fi, some horror, coming of age, figuring out what your values are and what's important to you. It is written and directed by Richard Kelly, who also wrote Domino, and who wrote and directed the new movie The Box, which just came out in theaters. The music of this movie is fantastic. It's by Michael Andrews. It's so haunting and beautiful. I love listening to the score, but all the 80s songs are really great too. My favorite track on the album has to be Gary Jules' version of Mad World. The 80s references in this movie are classic. An adult perspective on the lives of the Smurfs, side ponytails, the Dukakis debate, all that stuff is really fun. It's a great throwback. Jake Gyllenhaal as Donnie Darko. He's funny, but he also has that super dark side. You also see the innocence in him. The events are happening to him, and he's kind of just thrown up into the mix of it, and he has to make decisions on what he can do, but he's kind of being controlled. It's a very difficult time for him, and yet he does stand up for what he believes in. I really love it when he confronts Patrick Swayze as Jim Cunningham. Speaking of Patrick Swayze, this is one of my favorite roles for him. I've never really been a hopeless romantic, dirty dancing kind of girl. It just wasn't my thing. I really kind of like him trying to be that swarmy, slimy, puts up a good face, but there's something darker underneath. Richard Gere can do that type of character really well as Kevin Spacey. When these guys put up a great charming front, but really have something darker underneath, it's really great to watch, and I think he does an excellent job. Mary McDonnell as Rose Darko, Donnie's mother, her more emotional moments are so touching. It always gets you, and the first time I watched this movie, I just kind of wanted to cry whenever she was getting into that zone. Beth Grant, who plays Kitty Farmer, gym teacher who's trying to teach life lessons from Jim Cunningham. She's ridiculous, and I love it how she really represents that black and white world. This is the only way it is, and when she's put into question, she has no comeback whatsoever. I love that. Drew Barrymore puts up a very classy front as the English teacher. And another actor I really love is Noah Wyle as the science teacher. He kind of throws in some extra little side things like being a diabetic, chewing on the candy once in a while. And he's very understated in that role, and he really kind of pulls it across very, very subtly. Funny things I noticed after watching this movie again after I don't know how many times, Seth Rogen is one of the bullies in the classroom. Also, Ashley Tisdale is actually billed as Dorky Girl. The bunny in this movie is so freaky. The first time I watched it, I just about lost my mind every time he came on screen. And I love the choices they did with the effects. The wormhole coming out from the body, whenever metal hits the force field between the two characters. So spooky, and they build up the suspense so well. You're really on the edge of your seat. I don't want to give away too much of the ending, but I know so many people complain that, oh, I didn't get the ending. Some of it's laid right out for you, and some of it's up to you. It's up to the audience on what you think happened. It's a touching story. It gets me every time, and I still love it. It's a great fall movie. I watch it year after year, try to watch it around Halloween. Definitely watch it late at night in the dark if you haven't seen it before, so that the spookiness factor does get to you. Wonderful, wonderful movie. Thanks for listening. Also, I don't have him here to show you today, but we do sell the 12-inch Frank the Bunny in our store, so just Google Haunted Flower if you want to find him, because he is so kick-ass. Worn out faces, bright and early for their daily. Good idea for Christmas.